Wow, stories.
My non-greedy and super kind friend, 34-year-old female, has been dating a guy, 34-year-old male, for 5.5 years, and they cannot move past the prenuptial agreement preparation to finally get to a proposal. They want to do the prenup first and the proposal second, by the way. To describe their situation, her job is very flexible. She makes about $75,000, and her boyfriend's is super lucrative at $300,000 per year. Given her free time, throughout their 5.5 years together, she has been spending 10+ hours per week on cleaning the apartment that they rent half and half, cooking every meal, grocery shopping, doing all of their laundry using fickle and faulty machines in the building's basement, and hand washing all of the dishes given that they don't have a dishwasher. Keep in mind that her boyfriend works Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. because he takes on endless cases. Thus, their only time together is after 10 p.m. on weekdays and on the weekend. She feels like she can't talk to him about anything too emotionally trying whenever they have time together because his career is already too overwhelming. In terms of generosity towards her, over the years, he has invited her to go on 3 or 4 vacations to all-inclusive resorts, but she prefers to stroll around cities and learn, not be stuck on a beach chair. Still, he chooses these resorts because he is too overwhelmed from his job, and thus needs an easy vacation. These trips are fully paid for her, and he also typically invites his parents to tag along, who he fully pays for as well. She has told me that it is rather uncomfortable sharing the only time that he has off his demanding job with his parents tied to their hip, but that is the only choice she has. Other than that, he doesn't share any of his money with her. Recently, she told me that they have never, ever had intimacy. And to top it off, everyone who meets him, including myself, thinks that he is very feminine to the point of possibly being gay, which would explain why he hasn't been wanting to propose or negotiate marriage terms, and why they have never had intimacy. It should be noted that he claims that he has pelvic floor issues and stomach aches, but he told her that he was sexually active with his 2 previous girlfriends. Every time that she has offered to have intimacy with him throughout their 5.5 years together, he claims that he needs to be in the right headspace, so maybe another day, or that he has a stomach ache. She has admitted to me that her biggest fear is that in 10 years, he leaves her for a hot young girl at the office because she feels like some sort of placeholder. All of the intimacy stuff doesn't bother her, but I see it as one of the main obstacles for the prenup and proposal. For the prenup, he wants entirely self-serving terms that would initiate in 2028 when they finally get married, a year chosen by him, and he wants all of the wealth that he has accumulated over these 8 total years, 5.5 years now plus 2.5 years to get to 2028, to be entirely his. He tells her that he needs to focus on accumulating a lot of personal wealth because he is scared that his pelvic floor and stomach aches will be so debilitating that he might not be able to work later in life. They have been to several doctors, by the way, who have all confirmed that he is 100% healthy, with none of these issues evidenced. I can't help but think that this guy is super selfish and possibly gay, and that he is using her as his personal assistant without any clear sign of actually being committed to her in his heart and soul. I don't care about my friend wanting to marry a possible gay man, but I believe that this explains his hesitation towards marrying her and sharing his wealth because, in the long run, he likely does not want to divide his wealth with a woman. Their relationship feels too convenient for him, almost just transactional, with him getting tons of services at zero cost. I hate seeing my friend suffer waiting for him to agree to an earlier wedding date and fairer prenup. Not half and half, but maybe something like she would share 50% of his savings for a wedding date in 2024 or 2025, not 2028. Questions. Is it normal for a couple in their 30s who live together to never have had intimacy? Could this mean that he is potentially gay? Could there be a connection between them never having intimacy and his lack of commitment generosity? Would you tell her to stop dating him or be more blunt about things to help her in the long run? Would you stop hanging out with this friend as much? Because a good chunk of our dialogue over the past 12 months when we're hanging out is dedicated to her complaining about his lack of help at home and lack of compromise with this prenup and marriage. It really is taking an emotional toll on me. I see her about 3 times a month. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. She's wasting her time and should move on. This is who he is, and if she wants kids, she may find herself single at 40. I hope she chooses herself. Also, the fact she did 10 hours of free labor a week for over 5 years with no promise of equity means your friend is quite dumb. Imagine if she had invested that time into herself and further education, she would probably be making twice as much money as she is now. Comment 2. Everyone above has had excellent comments about your friend's awful relationship, so I'm just going to address your friendship. If you want to set boundaries about her venting, here's what I'd suggest. You're happy to listen to her problem-solving changes she's wanting to make, and you're no longer going to listen to her vent about problems she's not going to do anything about. Now for the update. Hey Reddit, back again with an update on my friend's prenup saga. You won't believe the journey these past 3 days have been. So my friend, let's call her Anna, and her boyfriend, let's name him Mark, had another talk about the prenup. Remember how Mark was adamant about not sharing his wealth and setting the wedding date for 2028? Well, Anna finally stood her ground. She told him that she felt undervalued and that she wasn't going to wait until 2028 to feel like an equal partner in their relationship. Mark was taken aback. He's not used to Anna being so assertive, given how she's always been the accommodating one, especially with her flexible job and the way she's been managing their home life. But here's the jaw-dropping moment. Mark actually agreed to reconsider the prenup terms. Now, the compromise they reached is pretty interesting. Mark proposed that they move the wedding date up to 2025, which is a huge leap from his original plan. But that's not all. He also agreed that any wealth he accumulates from now until the wedding would be considered shared, but with a catch. He wants a clause that protects his assets before their relationship began and anything he inherits in the future. Anna was hesitant at first. She's been there for him through thick and thin, even when his parents were ill and she was the one running back and forth to the hospital, managing their care. It's not like she hasn't contributed to his life in significant ways. But then Mark did something unexpected. He opened up about his fears, something he's never done before. He talked about his anxiety over his health issues, even though doctors have given him a clean bill of health. He confessed that his fear of being unable to work and provide was the real reason behind his prenup demands. Anna was floored. She had always sensed there was something deeper going on with him. They spent hours discussing their future, and Anna shared her concerns too. She reminded him of the time she had to take a pay cut to help her family, and how she never hesitated to put their needs first. She wanted that same commitment from him. In a surprising turn, Mark agreed to attend couples therapy. He admitted that he might have unresolved issues that were affecting their relationship. Anna was hopeful but cautious. She remembered how, in the past, Mark would promise to spend more time with her, only to get swamped with work again. Now, about the intimacy, or the lack thereof. Anna confronted Mark about it, and it led to a very emotional conversation. Mark broke down and admitted that his previous relationships had left him with deep-seated insecurities. He was afraid of intimacy because he didn't want to feel vulnerable again. Anna was shocked but also felt a sense of relief. It wasn't about her or him being potentially gay, as we had speculated. It was about his own personal barriers. They've decided to work on this aspect of their relationship in therapy too. Anna is hopeful but knows it'll be a long journey. She's just glad they're finally addressing the elephant in the room. As for me, I'm still here for Anna. It's been tough listening to her struggles, but I can't abandon her now, especially when things are finally starting to look up. I've been her confidant since college, after all. We've been through so much together, like when we backpacked through Europe and had to rely on each other when we got lost without a map. So, to answer your questions, no, It's not normal for a couple in their 30s to never have had intimacy. But it turns out it was more about Mark's personal issues than his commitment level or sexuality. And yes, there's definitely a connection between their lack of intimacy and his reluctance to fully commit. But they're working on it. I'm not going to tell Anna to stop dating him. They're making progress, and it's their relationship to figure out. And no, I won't stop hanging out with her. She needs me, and that's what friends are for, right?